Between what we've lived through and what our day jobs demand, we've spent some serious time researching neuroscience. The pattern we keep seeing is the way we think shapes the way we behave. And over time, those behaviors shape our outcomes, often before we even realize we've made a choice.
So in that research of neuroscience, it opened the door to neuroplasticity, habit loops, stress responses, microdecisions, all the brainy stuff that explains why just try harder is a trash strategy. In this lab, we're rewiring habits one experiment at a time.
Welcome to I² Lab. I hear a lot from our group about the fear of being hungry. And I think we need to talk about this and what it really means for the brain and the body to actually be hungry. I came across this and it actually makes more sense to me because we've talked in the past about there's certain environments that I feel more pulled to the food. So we're going to get into this. There are actually 3 types of hunger. There's homeostatic, hedonic, and then there's a third one that I hadn't heard about before, and it was the way it was positioned, and I really like it. And we've talked about it, but we've never been able to label it in this way, and I really like it. And it's conditioned, conditioned hunger. So let's get into that. Most people think hunger is hunger. And when I hear people talk about being afraid of being hungry, I don't know that I had that experience, or maybe I did, but I just decided to ignore it during weight loss mode.
Mm-hmm.
That, look, you're just going to be hungry. And I think I had just resigned myself to, like, this is going to happen. And
That's what losing weight is.
Right.
You
and
deserve to be hungry. Or,
kind of. And
yeah.
I was like, it was almost like evidence that it was working, that I was doing the thing. The things I remember during weight loss mode is that I couldn't remember the last time I had felt hungry, which is concerning in of itself. Like all through COVID, like I don't know that there was a time when I could remember my stomach actually growling and going, man, I'm hungry. There was just eating constantly. I was like, I never let, and maybe there is an underlying fear there that I'm not even, I wasn't turning towards, because I didn't want to feel the hunger. So I was constantly eating. So there was this just constant fueling of this. So I don't ever feel the hunger. Is that
why you were doing? Yeah. I don't
Maybe.
know. Yeah.
I don't know. But what if that were true? Weight loss wouldn't feel so confusing. Because if hunger is just hunger, why is it frustrating? Why is it inconsistent? What if the question isn't, why am I hungry? But instead, what kind of hunger is it?
If you could actually label it.
Yeah. So let's get people some stuff. So because sometimes your body needs food, for sure.
Right.
You actually experience physical hunger. You're not thinking clearly. Like it's not just your stomach is growling. Could be physical hunger. Like you haven't ate, and maybe your stomach isn't growling yet, but you just feel kind of like not quite fully in your head. You're not fully present. Like, I need some food. Like, I'm just feeling a little peaked here.
Thinking right. I need energy or
Yeah.
And
sometimes your nervous system needs regulation, safety, stimulation, relief, something. You're looking for relief in some way. You need regulated in some way. All right. So let's break down those 3 types. Homeostatic. Homeostatic hunger is the body asking for fuel. This is the actual physiological hunger. This is your body saying, I need energy, blood sugar's dropping. It's been several hours since you ate. Your stomach could be actually physically telling you like, whoa, let's get some food in here now.
I would almost, like, this is survival hunger. Like, humans eat to survive.
Yes.
Probably what we would actually think hunger is.
This is what it should only be.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
That's how I'm thinking it. Like, for survival, humans eat for fuel.
Yes.
This is what hunger should be.
This is
how I'm thinking of it.
This is a survival need.
Okay.
I think it's how I think of it
yes.
too.
Yeah.
You have to eat to survive.
Yep.
This is that type of hunger.
Food is not enjoyment. It's not entertainment. We ate to survive.
You're
Our
eating to fill your
ancestors-
body.
Yes. Yeah.
Homeostatic hunger.
Yes.
So this hunger is regulated by hormones like ghrelin and leptin, and it shows up as your stomach growling, low energy, difficulty concentrating, feeling maybe like physically weak or lightheaded. This is the kind of hunger that food is actually meant to solve, which is what you just said.
Okay.
So homeostatic, food was meant to fuel the body. I mean, how it could show up in weight loss mode is, you're skipping meals maybe, or maybe you have only cut it down to 2 meals a day. So you've got a longer window where you aren't eating. Maybe you're under fueling in some way, long gaps between meals. And this isn't something to be like concerned about necessarily, but our bodies still see it as a threat.
Oh, yeah.
Over restricting of sort, that kind of stuff. But your body doesn't interpret restriction as discipline. It totally interprets it. It's not safe. There's
Right.
threat happening. We're going through famine. It doesn't know that the year is 2026 or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
It thinks,
It starts to think that it might not get food in the future. So it starts to self-regulate and do things to help protect it.
The second one is, and so I'm going to define these
them.
and then
Okay.
we'll come back and we'll talk about
Perfect.
each one and
Okay.
how maybe they've shown up or not shown up or,
Okay.
oh crap, that is showing up like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then there's hedonic hunger, the brain wanting reward. So what is it? Hedonic hunger, it's pleasure driven. This is hunger for taste, comfort, dopamine, relief, some sort of stimulation, potentially. I talk to my group a lot that, the evening time is some of the hardest times for them. And it was for me too, mostly because I think I was experiencing the 2 different types of hunger, a hedonic and then conditioned during the evening time. Because in the evening time, you ate socially, you sit down and you eat dinner with your family. It's a social construct, but that's what we do. So if you're not doing that, are you fitting into the social norms, your tribe? Boredom is also where, and I really, really pooed boredom. Like, oh, it's just boredom. It's not that big of a deal. But boredom is actually really, your body's experiencing something that's not just, I'm bored. It's actually something that's, you're looking for stimulation of some kind through food if you are bored. Like, oh, I'm just so bored. I'm going to go to the fridge. You're looking for something. And actually, there's more physiologically happening in your body when you are bored than I ever gave it credit for. It's really interesting.
I did too. I remember people saying this probably a couple times around the mountain ago. And I was like, I'm not eating because I'm bored.
You bet your ass you are.
I was.
And
I was like, I'm not bored.
Exactly. But the more I dig into what boredom really does to your brain and your body, it's actually I totally glazed over this. Like, just get yourself right. I totally judge myself for eating out of boredom. And it's a bigger deal than we ever give it credit for.
I was at work. I was working. I had things. I was doing work. I was busy. I'm going to say the word busy. I was busy. I was doing things. I was in meetings, but I wasn't stimulated.
Yeah.
I was just task mastering. I was getting things done.
Right.
My mind was not engaged into exciting things.
Exactly.
I was bored.
Yes.
So my mind was like, you know what? You should go do something that you really want to do, like eat something delicious.
Like that's going to solve everything.
Right.
And it kind of does for a second.
It does. It wanted to seek something pleasurable.
Yeah. It was stimulating.
Yeah.
But it's not actually really doing what it needs to do.
Right.
Okay. So you can be physically full and still experience this hunger. This type of hunger is heavily influenced by stress, emotions, highly palatable foods, mental fatigue. How it shows up on weight loss journey, this is the hunger people label as, I just don't have any willpower. Emotional eating, self-sabotage. But neurologically, it's your brain seeking reward or relief, not calories. I mean, common moments, end of a long day, after emotionally taxing conversations. I feel this after I've had a really hard meeting. And hard meeting could mean that it was stimulating, or it was not stimulating, or I had to have a conversation I was uncomfortable having on some level, even though it totally needed to be had, and I would have want somebody to have it with me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My body still saw it as emotionally taxing in some way. So, or when rest has been delayed, that's a big one. When pleasure has been postponed until the weight is gone. We need to be careful of that one too. Like denying ourselves pleasurable things before the weight is gone. And by that, we have to find other things pleasurable besides food. So there are more things in life besides food that are pleasurable, and we have to start bringing those.
Or as a reward.
Or
for
as a
something.
reward.
Yeah, we always reward with food.
Yeah.
This is a scary one too, because I'm thinking the food that you're typically going towards in this hunger definition are most likely high calorie foods. That's what I'm thinking of too.
Am I going after broccoli?
No. Yeah. You're going after broccoli probably in the first definition, I would think.
You
because it's more fuel,
you should.
right? It's more typically I'm eating for survival. I'm eating on a plan. I'm thinking of it as fuel. In this category, I'm thinking you're more going after the cupcake.
Highly palatable, highly caloric, high fat, high sugar. Enjoyable
reward.
foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is scary because you're eating it at random times.
So I thought there were just these two hungers. There's hedonic and homeostatic. And I'm like, yeah, I know what homeostatic is, but I lived in hedonic most of the time.
Oh, man. Since I was a preteen, at least.
Because as soon as food was used to soothe something, we experienced it. And you're talking...
Yeah, probably since I was 5 or
no,
something.
I think even before.
Oh.
How often were we given something as a reward for doing something?
Yeah.
You can have this ice cream because you did this.
Or you fell down and scraped your knee. Oh,
here's a
popsicle or whatever.
Gummy bear. I don't know.
Yeah. You're crying.
You can have this candy bar if you're good for the week.
We used to. She's nodding her head. So we used to go to Cubs Foods, which isn't even a thing anymore.
It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it was a grocery store. And we would go to the grocery store with our dad. And bless our dad, he would tell us. Now, he would want to go down every single aisle.
He still does.
Of the grocery store. He still does. And I understand as an adult why he does. I do like to browse when I grocery shop because you never know what you're going to find. But he would want to go up and down every single aisle. And you can imagine, as he was always by himself. Mom wasn't with us when we went with him.
I don't remember.
It was just the two of us with Dad for some reason. Mostly. She's probably doing something with.
Well, she's like, take these kids out and go do something.
She's probably like, take these girls away.
And he's like, I'm going to go treasure hunt at the grocery store.
So it was like Dad with a shopping cart and his two little redheaded girls with him. And he would look at us in the eyes of our soul. He was like, now, girls, if you are really good, we're going to go up and down every aisle. And if you're really good, you can pick any candy bar you want.
Just one.
Just one.
Yes.
But you get to pick any candy bar you want. And I always picked the sugar babies.
You did?
I did.
Mine was Payday.
So, I mean, that's the thing. If I didn't cry, if I didn't ask, are we done yet? Can we leave? Or if I didn't stomp my feet and say, can I get this? Can I get this bag of Doritos? Can we get this? Can I have this? If I didn't throw a tantrum, if I didn't ask for things, I got to get my sugar babies.
It was a reward for behavior that you did.
Yep.
The end.
But you know what? I was a good little girl in that grocery store. It worked.
Which gets us to the third hunger, actually. And I think these two, we can unpack these and what we think they are. I don't know if it'll be right or not, but this is how we're going to go.
We're not psychologists.
Conditioned hunger. The environment pulling the trigger. This is the one that sneaks up on people the most, especially as you're going into maintenance, or maybe you're in the middle of weight loss mode, or you're towards the end, maybe you've got your last 10, 15, 20 pounds where you feel really good, you're fitting into a good size of clothes. You know, you've corrected the blood sugar problems, you've corrected the cholesterol problems, you're off for reduced medication. All of the things that, you know, all of the whys of why maybe got you going have been satisfied in some way. So you're like, I don't know, I've got 15 pounds really to go before. This is the part that I think sneaks up on people and starts to drag you back into the old habits in a very sneaky way. So what is it? Conditioned hunger is learned hunger. It's not driven by need or pleasure directly. It's driven by association. So your brain has learned when X happens, food follows. So I'm thinking the Cubs food scenario was a little more of a conditioned hunger and not necessarily the hedonic hunger. It was when we go here and we're good, we get this. Over time, the cue alone activates the desire. And what's interesting is now that I'm talking through this out loud, I still find when I grocery shop that I want a treat on the way home.
Oh my goodness.
So we call them these days, we call them road raspberries. We get a thing of raspberries from Costco and it's like a carton and it's got two sides of it.
Yep. I got those just 2 weeks ago.
I think they're 170 grams on each side.
Yeah.
And Randy will eat one side and I'll eat one side. We call them road raspberries.
That's awesome. But I mean,
Look, it's not a candy bar,
but it's
but
a treat.
it's still something
You're feeding
into this
that
conditioned hunger.
neuroplastic
Right.
pathway.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we're like, okay, let's get a Diet Coke.
It's a wise choice.
It's a better choice.
right. But you are feeding into that neuropathic pathway
Exactly.
that you have done.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So I'm just like in real time here putting it together.
Yeah.
And I've noticed it in the last maybe 6 months. Like we'll get, there's these protein bars that we get like that. We'll each get one on the way home. I'm like, why do I need something and we must have had this candy bar. I'm thinking back and I can't really remember. We must have ate it on the way home after grocery store.
I did. Because
Why wouldn't we have?
The sugar babies always in a bag. And so I opened it up and I remember just, piece by piece, because mine wasn't a bar. I just picked the little pieces out of the bag and ate it. I remember my little hand getting in the bag.
Well, we were probably both sitting in the back seat, quietly enjoying our.
Yeah, that's probably why he gave us candy bars. He's like, they're going to be quiet. They're not going to be pulling each other's hair and fighting each other. Yeah. He was a mad genius, but he messed us up. Would you say, bless his soul, would you say that the hedonic hunger is almost the practice that feeds into the conditioned?
I think it could.
Because to me, it's almost like you're living your life and you're rewarding something, and then you get conditioned, and then it becomes that neuropathic pathway that almost feeds into it. They're very connected. It almost seems like
very connected. I think the airport is a really good example to talk about on this one, because I think airports feel like homeostatic hunger, but they're layered. There's physical fatigue happening, long walking distances, disrupted routines, poor sleep because you probably had to get up at 3 a.m. because you needed to get your stuff together. You needed to drive to the airport, get through security by 5, whatever that looks like. Decision overload. Okay, I've got to go here. I've got to go here. Oh crap! I thought I was going to be able to take the bus over to this. Now there's construction. I mean, how many times are you at airports and you have to totally try to even figure out where to go? I have to go pick up the rental car. What is it called here? Is it ground transportation that I need to start to head towards, or does it actually say rental car? I've got to figure it out. Once you know some airports that decision fatigue, decision overload kind of goes down, but you're still in an environment that is disrupting your routine. A subtle just sense of vulnerability for me. I love traveling alone, but I'm also a female traveling alone. There's a little bit of a sense of vulnerability. What if I got sick by myself? What happens then? Even if food is a part of the solution, the intensity often isn't just hunger. And I actually have a pretty hard and fast rule that I fast if I'm traveling. I just don't eat because there's way too much stimulus at the airport. There's Cinnabon, there is Auntie Anne's, and Lord knows those smell amazing. You can smell them even before you see them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see the sign and then you know, whatever. And that's actually a different podcast for a different day. There's sign trackers. It's a whole different one. We should actually do one on that. There's this thing where I think when I first started traveling, I would say it was hedonic hunger that was taking over during those times. And so I'm experiencing the need for relief, maybe the need for stimulation because my flight has been delayed 4 times. And now I'm at the airport going on 10 hours. I am bored. I can only look at social media so much. I can only listen to this book so long. You know, there's some boredom happening there. So you're looking for some sort of stimulation relief. So if you feed into that, that is the hedonic hunger. But now if I do it enough, it's become conditioned. When I go and I travel,
I agree.
This is what it is. So I think you're exactly right.
Just like with the road trips we talked about in a car ride, I think we talked in
Another
past podcast.
Yeah.
Like a road trip, it's really hard not to stop and get road snacks because we've done it in the past.
We actually challenged each other who could get the best
road snacks
combination of salty versus sugary versus,
Yeah.
savory versus sugary road snacks. Who's going to come out with that was a thing.
Yeah. It's conditioned at this point. Yeah.
So yeah, those are the big ones for me is traveling. I believe it was hedonic hunger at one point and it has turned into a conditioned hunger. So now I have a hard and fast rule. I just fast. There is no negotiating that happens. I have my water. It's empty until I go through security and then I fill it up and that is it. That is it. If I am eating at the airport at all, it's because I've been there for a seriously long time and then I can gamify it. I'm like, okay, we're going to break the rule, but we're going to gamify this. How can we do this the most healthy way possible?
Do you allow coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it's black coffee.
Okay.
I don't do a latte.
Yeah.
I don't make it like enhanced in some way. But I do love black coffee.
I don't get food. I have the same rule. I don't buy food at the airport. 1, it's overpriced.
Absolutely.
I'm too frugal for that. And 2, I always get black coffee somewhere because that's my. Maybe it goes into the reward, but that's
your reward.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to get a coffee. And plus while I'm there, I'm going to get ice for my water because I like ice in my water.
I do that as well. Or I've done tea, unsweetened tea.
I could do that too.
I think it was, I was traveling through Atlanta airport or something when I was coming down to, we were doing
was it New Orleans?
No, it might've been New Orleans.
Or is it Mobile?
Maybe it was Mobile. I was flying somewhere south to meet you for work. We were doing something for work together and I was flying through a southern airport and I had maybe 3 hour layover. And it was like an act of God trying to find an unsweetened tea in the airport. I think I told you this.
The South don't do unsweetened tea.
No. I went to 3 different places and they all looked at me like I had 6 heads. I'm like, I'm looking for some unsweet tea.
Like, you're a Yankee, aren't you?
This one, I don't know even what it was. I think it was a coffee tea thing. It wasn't like one of the other eating places. And she got real quiet. She leaned in and she goes, I think I got some in the back. I went and got it.
She's like, we haven't sweetened it yet.
She couldn't actually say it too loud for the Southerners to hear that they might have had some that was unsweet.
She's like, we just haven't added the sugar
But
yet.
I was determined. I wasn't going to actually have, come on, guys.
Well, at least you had the time. You had a scavenger hunt on
I
your
did.
hand.
So at some point.
I think that was before the New Orleans
I think it was our New Orleans trip. I met you down there. Yeah, that was, I think I had actually posted it in the group at the time. I was like, finding unsweet tea is no easy business down here in Atlanta. It was so funny that we got some in the back. I was like, whoa. So for me, I didn't realize this in weight loss mode at all. But what's interesting is I just naturally stopped watching as much TV during weight loss mode.
I remember you saying that.
And I didn't correlate the two until I really was like, oh, that's why. My examples are watching TV. because every time I sat down on the couch to watch TV, I was eating. It was a bowl of popcorn. It was we Uber eated something, so we got something delivered that was fried. I am 100% sure we weren't getting chicken breasts and broccoli. Yeah. It was something that was highly palatable, rewarding food for the brain, and I was conditioning myself to do it in front of the TV. Mm-hmm. And I just naturally, during weight loss mode, stopped watching as much TV. And I noticed today, I have to really be careful when I sit down in front of the TV if I want to. It's a pretty hard and fast rule for me too. In front of the TV, we don't eat. But I want to still. So there's still this conditioned pull for me in front of the TV. And I think back, this was not just when I was in my 20s and I conditioned this. This was something we grew up with. Dad would come home from work, pop the popcorn in the stir crazy with a little bit of bacon grease in there, put the butter, he would melt the butter on the stovetop, pour it over it.
Or bacon grease.
Both typically.
Yeah.
The best popcorn you could ever have because it was fresh popcorn. It was always something that he would do from scratch. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember sitting up on the counter with my feet in the silverware drawer that was pulled out. That's how disgusting I am. But that's what we did. He would pop me up there because I was...
Hey, we grew up in the Midwest.
We were in the Midwest. Sorry, guys. They're like, silverware gone. But I would watch him do all of the ritual. It was a ritual. Mm-hmm. And then he would sit on the floor in front of the ottoman with his back propped up against it with
his knee on the side.
His knee on the side and the bowl of popcorn on his knee.
Yep.
And sometimes you would get the knee and you could share in the bowl of popcorn with him.
You got to sit on Daddy's knee.
And share in the bowl of popcorn.
Yep.
And that was his time with his girls.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how is it that we don't associate the evening meals with time with our husbands?
Yeah.
With time with family.
And food.
Yeah. And I'm not saying anybody was wrong for doing any of those things.
No.
Because I remember, Dad's kisses goodnight was salty, buttery beer kisses. Like, good night. And it was this kiss with salt and butter and beer. Like that was...
Are you going to tell the story?
Which one?
You are what you eat.
Oh, no. It doesn't really fit. Maybe another podcast for another day. Okay. So that was learned very early on for us to eat in front of the TV. So that one I don't know that I'll ever get away from. Passing specific drive-thrus.
Yeah.
I think could be one too. Although I've pretty much... I think I've said this on another podcast. I don't feel like I belong in those anymore, in the drive-thrus anymore. If I catch myself in a drive-thru, something's wrong.
I think a coffee drive-thru is the only one that I still find myself in.
Agreed.
And 50-50, I'll go in half the time, honestly. But even those I'm starting to find myself out of. Mm-hmm. I'm not going through them because I used to, oh my gosh, we had a ritual because we would get the fancier, more fattening lattes all the time.
Oh, right? It was Frappuccinos. Yeah. The gateway to the black coffee,
absolutely.
It was Frappuccinos.
And we would go grocery shop on the weekends. We would get ourselves Frappuccinos or lattes or whatever before we went grocery shopping. Was that the candy bar? Probably. Seriously.
Was that the treat for grocery shopping?
I thought when you were talking about it, I was like, I think mine is Frappuccinos.
Or some sort of a latte.
Because I did some kind of treat with grocery shopping. It was a Starbucks.
I'm just so thankful that I've been able to associate black coffee as a treat.
Yeah, and I think I did that maybe a couple weight loss journeys ago to cut out sugar.
Yeah, it hasn't been long that I've been drinking black coffee.
Yeah.
It's been since maybe
7 years.
7 years, yeah,
ish. And because to cut out sugar, I had to. Okay, so I went from, sugary drinks to diet soda because I loved soda.
Yeah.
I went from soda to diet soda, and then I had a vertigo issue with fake sugar. Mm-hmm. And so I very quickly realized...
Well, you had a vertigo issue that you associated with.
I associated with fake sugar and other things. So I very quickly decided I am not drinking diet soda. Cut that out.
Because you stopped drinking diet soda and the vertigo issue resolved itself.
Yes.
So Correlated or not, that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like. So great. Stopped drinking diet soda. So I went to just like carbonated water.
Yeah.
Which, okay, great. I can drink carbonated water. I don't need fake sugar. Fantastic. And then we went from the sugary coffee to just black coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it.
I
It's
actually
fine.
reduced mine a little bit first.
I did reduce it. I actually posted in the school just the other day. I still do sometimes in the fall. I'll do a pumpkin spice latte with just like 1 or 2 pumps of
Right,
pumpkin. And
right.
But I'll do 3 shots of espresso. It probably tastes like tar to most people.
But it's still, if you're drinking black coffee, it's like the biggest treat on earth. But normally they
absolutely.
have like 5 or 6 pumps
Oh yeah.
of this pumpkin syrup
Yeah.
in it, which is 50 calories each
Yeah.
pump.
So it's really good though.
It is good. And
Yeah.
then you do feel like you are having, but the treat is
Yeah.
not as intense as it was before. But we had to work our way down to the black. Some people just go cold turkey,
Yeah.
but I think
It's
it's,
baby steps.
yeah. Traveling, of course, we talked about that. Wanting something to, eat even if you're not physically hungry. Nothing is wrong with you. This is just, I think it's just really classical conditioning. I don't think these are nuanced to me in any way, shape, or form. I mean, your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do. Sitting down at night means snack time
Mhm.
for some people. Passing a specific drive-through. Sunday afternoons might be that time. Stressful meetings ending. Kids going to bed. Can you imagine the chaos that could happen there?
I have a employee that for the longest time they have 4 boys, by the way.
Good Lord.
So they have 4 boys ranging, one's 13, one is 5, one is 3, and one is 2. So you can imagine their household. They put them all to bed and they always popped popcorn.
Mm.
And that was their thing to do together at night. They ate popcorn together. And it was really hard for them to stop doing that. And it was hard because they associated that with their time together too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that you say that because they had to find something different to do together. And that was tied to TV and putting their kids together. I mean, it happens.
I know.
Couples do that.
I know. I think maybe it's a good time to talk about in weight loss mode, I went down to 2 meals a day.
Same.
And at one point, it was after I had lost the first 100 pounds. There was a suggestion that to keep a good rate of loss, that you need to back up your last meal to a certain time. And it was way before a normal dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, Randy, and he still is working up north. It takes him about 45 minutes to drive home on a good day. Normally it's more than that. Sometimes he comes home, he's like, I've been in the car for an hour and a half. I actually started kind of trying to come home at 4:30 today. And it's like, ends up being 6.
It's so stressful. I've worked up north. And
We
it's-
both did.
Yeah,
It
hate
is. It's very stressful, especially with all the construction going on.
It starts to eat at your soul.
So I was fixing dinner and I would he would text me like, I think I'm going to be home around 7. Sometimes it was 8. Sometimes it was 8:30. So I would try to time the dinner like a good wife to when he would get home. Then we would sit down, we would eat dinner, and then we would clean up. So you're talking on a good night, an hour and a half, more than likely, because it usually took me more than a half hour to cook the meal.
Mm-hmm.
Depends. Now, I could also have done some meal prepping and had dinner ready or, to a state where maybe I just needed to kind of heat up a couple things, or maybe the meat was cooked and I could have done some other things. But all in all, I was spending an hour and a half in the evening just cooking, eating, and then cleaning up dinner. And I remember seeing this part of the program thinking, well, I'm not going to do that part. No. I'll do everything else, but I'm not doing that part. I'm not giving up. I had a visceral reaction to it. I'm not giving up that time with my husband. That is my time with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I was very adamant.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I don't care. Nobody can make you do it. This isn't jail. You do whatever you want to do, of course.
I would think most people would think that.
I thought so too. And I think they do. And I run into it a lot. And I'm like, I just want you to consider something here. Because as soon as I said it, there was that voice in the back of my head that was like, but what if this time is different?
Mm.
What if you did things differently just for a little bit to see? And let's prove to yourself that that is time with your husband and you would be missing that time. And let's prove to them that you can do this without that. So let's give it, but you can't prove that if you don't try it.
Right.
I could only just think about what it was going to be or project or, and I had a bias and all the, whatever you want to call it. So I was like, okay. So I sat down with Randy and I was like, I kind of want to give this a try. Maybe 2 weeks tops. And I was really worried that he would be upset about it. And I'm like, look, we need to be done eating by 3 p.m. So that means that we would need to take two meals. You would have meal 1 and then meal 2 at work. And then we wouldn't have anything for dinner. We could have tea and, decaf coffee in the evening or gum, whatever, or some electrolytes and water, but no food. So we won't be having dinner at home. Like I was being very clear of what this meant. And he was like, oh, that's great. I don't have to rush home. I don't have to be, I could just have both my meals there. Maybe I'll eat mine more like, because he was.
You were both probably worrying about each other's feelings.
He didn't give a rip. He was like, whatever.
Well, I mean, he was probably leaving work.
Trying to make sure
thinking,
that, you're right.
Lori
needs me home. Wants me home.
Right. And you were thinking, I need to have dinner ready for him when he gets home, and I need to not eat without him
because this is what people do.
Yeah, and we need to try to respect each other.
And I never thought about it like this is just what people do. This is just what we did.
Right.
Because we shared the time together. We shared the good food together, the palatable, highly palatable food. Of course, it was rewarding in some way, but I had put a story to it that it was the time we spend together. This was time, quality time we spend together. That is the biggest load of bullshit.
Yeah. I'm going through the same thing right now.
We didn't talk while we're eating.
No.
We were experiencing the same thing together, highly pleasurable foods, but now it was different. So we were like, let's try it for a week. If we hate it, we'll go back to whatever. And he didn't care. He was excited. He was like, this is great. I can just eat around 4 or 5, blah, blah, blah. So we do it. We fixed all the meals. We food prepped that Sunday. We're like, okay, this is what it looks like. We even pre-prepped our logs. This is what the week looks like. And I'm telling you, the amount of relief and time you get to spend with somebody when you're not focusing on cooking the food, eating the food, and cleaning up is so much more quality time. And I'm just explaining it, and you can't actually know
until
you do it. We never looked back.
I remember when you were doing that, when you were going through that, and I, similar to you, before you did it, I just couldn't fathom it.
No.
How could you not eat dinner at night? That's crazy.
We're crazy people.
We
still get this at the gym. People are like, what are you going to have after this? Because we work out at 6 o'clock at night, typically 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So 6 to 7, 7:30 sometimes. And then we actually walk afterwards. So it's 8 o'clock. But they don't know we walk another 30 minutes afterwards.
Like, aren't you done working out by now?
They're like, what are you going to have for dinner tonight? I had someone ask me this once. And we're like, and I was like, I didn't want to tell her because she seemed really excited to tell me about her dinner. She was having meatloaf or mashed potatoes or something. I was like, we actually don't eat dinner. And she just looked at me, and I almost regretted saying it, but I was like, I don't know, maybe she needed to hear it.
Maybe.
I was like, we don't eat dinner afterwards.
We're experiencing the same thing right now. And I never thought I would be in this spot, but we joined the community center in our little town, and we also have a field house. So it's like a combo deal. And, we lift weights or play pickleball or basketball or whatever. There's different things on different nights. And we go 3 or 4 times a week at night. You get home from work. We end up getting there by 5:30 or so. And we can only stay till about 6:30.
Yeah.
Because we need to get home,
cook
cook dinner, feed our dog, like eat dinner and clean up because I don't want to eat past 7:30.
Right. You really should have everything eaten 2 to 3 hours before bed.
Even that to me is a little late.
It's a little late.
I want to eat by 7, really. But I'm like, it's pushing it. Like I'll stretch it. And I talked to you. I was like, man, I'm really kind of nervous to talk to Adam about this because I don't think he's going to like it. Like I think he's going to think, because I think it's nuts. I think he's going to think it's nuts. But because I associate, just like you did, just like I'm sure everybody does, dinner is what we do together as a couple at night. But you start to think, you know what?
What are we actually doing?
Maybe playing pickleball is what we do together at night now. maybe it's not dinner, at least on the nights that we go to the community center
Monday
together.
through Friday. Right.
You
Right.
know, it's like we can still eat dinner on the other nights.
Maybe.
You know, so I actually brought it up to him finally.
You did.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, I have a crazy idea. If you want to spend more time doing what we're doing at the community center, whatever it is, if you want to, because I don't play basketball with him because my hand-eye coordination is not as good as his. So I do something else during that time. If you want to continue to go to the community center and you want to spend more time, because we could feed Opie before we go. What if, crazy idea, we meal prep and you eat dinner at like 3 in the afternoon. You eat like a late lunch. And he thought about it and he was like, I'd try it. I would try it. And I was like, okay.
That's all you need.
Yeah, let's try it. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, we can go back.
And I thought the same thing. We're just going to try it. And it's not going to make a hill of beans difference to my weight loss. Bull.
Yeah. And I'm not even really, I mean, I wanted to help my weight loss, obviously.
And it's not what you think.
But I'm not even really worried about that.
No.
I just want the convenience of it. It's
more for me because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's nice that I don't have to do all of those things. I could just do it all on Sunday and then I'm done for the week.
Right.
I can spend that time actually catching up on chores in the house that I would spend doing it on the
Right.
weekend. I think it helps the rate of loss, not because you have a longer window of fasting. Maybe that's a part of it. But the other things that it does is I think it lowers your stress around trying to time things just right and get it all
Yes.
just right at night. I think
Yes.
it also helps your sleep. I think the less food I have in my system when I go to sleep, I get better sleep. Better sleep means more weight loss.
I also think, and not that we have a bad marriage, I also think it can help our marriage.
I'm telling you.
Why don't we be the couple that gets to play pickleball together and not be the couple that eats dinner together every night? Why don't we do fun things?
I will
and
say,
not, you know,
we probably need to consider people who have kiddos
absolutely
in this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, and I'm just speaking personally from my experience. Obviously, not talking about people with kids.
We do have a lot of people in the group that have kiddos. So there is this, they're home from school.
Right.
They need to eat something.
Right.
A lot of times, and there were even coaches in the group before that could speak to this probably better than I could because I don't have kids.
Me neither.
But man, you would want to be able to spend time with them. Same sort of vein, I would consider. Like they do need sustenance and you get to talk to them and spend time with them. You actually get to spend more time with them. Let's say you do prep the meals for the week and all you have to do is reheat it up for them, or they can heat it, depending on how old they are. Maybe they are given this autonomy to do this for themselves. It's a responsibility you're now giving them, some sort of accountability you're now giving them. And you sit down at the table while they're eating it and you just have your tea, or you just have your decaf coffee, or you just have your water with electrolytes, and you get to actually be present for it in a way that you never would have before.
Would you suggest that I'm thinking of our mom. For some reason, when we got home from school, she would like make us a sandwich or something.
It was like spaghetti. It was just like a can of SpaghettiOs and a piece of bread with butter on it.
And then we would also have dinner later. So I don't understand why she would do that. But would you suggest that the kiddos have dinner when they get home from school so you don't have to worry about having dinner later? Because some kids get home from school like at 4.
Or 3:30.
Yeah.
It depends if they're high school or middle
they could
school.
also have an early dinner.
It could be. And
then the whole family gets to spend time together.
It depends. Like also, I mean, you and I had all kinds of sports stuff and show choir, all of the after school curricular activities we were in.
You can focus on the homework later. You can,
we would come home and then we'd have to go right back to school to go to practice.
Right.
So what if there was just a lighter dinner for them and it wasn't this heavy thing, but they shifted to more of a breakfast, lunch, dinner thing?
I mean, obviously.
Just an option to consider and try. I really thought after 2 weeks of doing it that I would hate it, that I would be missing out on the time with him, that I wouldn't experience any higher rate of loss. And all of that wasn't true. And we never looked back. And we even thought too, for a short period of time, like, we'll probably just go back to eating at dinner during, once we've lost the weight and then we're in some sort of a maintenance phase. I'm like, why? We have all this time now in the evenings. Now I could go and I could work out at the gym for as long as I want. I don't have to worry about coming home, fixing dinner, eating dinner, and cleaning up dinner. That's not even in our repertoire. On the nights that we don't go to the gym, I can actually mow the grass during the week. I can get stuff done during the week that I would have saved for the weekend. And now my weekend is free to have these huge days of like, let's go explore this. Let's go do this. It opens up a world you really weren't expecting it to. And it sounds so simple and stupid, but it's something to consider if anybody's listening to this and they haven't pulled the trigger on that part of their plan.
I never thought I would consider it. So
I would have never have thought I would consider it too. We're still looked at as crazy people.
And I thought you were nuts when you were going to try it. So
well, this time you have to do different things if you want to see if it's going to be different for you. It doesn't mean you have to do it forever.
It's a lab experience.
It totally is a lab experiment. Just try it. There's I was going to say something else about it and I forget.
We went on a rant.
I know.
Sorry.
I know. This actually goes into, and I want to make sure we hit on this point. So you've got the homeostatic, hedonic, and the conditioned. I think people just need to be curious to the conditioned. And I think it's also important to realize that you will experience hunger. It's not a physical hunger in that moment, but it is a hunger that you will experience sitting down in front of the TV. It's also something I know if we sit down in front of the TV, we can't binge watch something. Play on words there, but if we've watched and we could get into that, like we're watching something now and it's like you get really into it. And these days, not like it was before, you had to wait a week before you could see the next episode. Now you can just see 13, 14, 20 episodes of something in one sitting, which is insane. Insane. If we've watched something 3 times, like an episode, 3 episodes in a row, I know I'm like, we probably need to do something else because I'm starting to feel snacky. I'm starting to feel that kind of thing. But this goes into your environment matters more than motivation in a lot of this. And this goes to that principle we've talked about before. Behavior is a function of the person interacting with their environment. Conditioned hunger proves this principle beautifully. Your behavior isn't failing. Your environment is cueing it. Visual cues. Do you have food on the counter? Do you have food out? When you open the pantry, is it in an opaque container? Time-based cues. Oh my gosh, it's the evening time. This is my nemesis. Put things in the environment that are going to be hurdles for you to win. Situational cues. I mean, the brain, we know the brain loves prediction. It prepares you before you decide, which means if we only try to be stronger, we're working against biology. The real work is changing the cues, adding in the pauses, building regulation skills beyond food. We have to have other things we start to turn to that are not food, that still satisfy that relief. It isn't about just sitting there and going, I'm just going to sit through this moment of, you're just telling an overtaxed nervous system to just be more stressed for a little longer. Mm-hmm. You still need to relieve it in some way. It just needs to be through non-food items, breath work, walking, journaling, whatever that meditating, whatever that looks like. There are other things to turn to besides food. Food has just been what your brain has done before, so it knows it works. We just have to start giving it more evidence that there are other things. Designing environments that support the identity, of course. Okay, so that's the 3 types of hunger. We've got homeostatic, hedonic, and conditioned. That's where I want to stop for this one because we're going to launch into what we're actually afraid of. What is the fear behind being hungry? Gosh, I just don't want to be hungry. We're going to launch into that on the next one.
Until next time, stay curious.
Keep experimenting.